Hi, how you doing? Welcome to Coffee Chat with Angie. I'm Angie, and yes, I'm transgender, and yes, I have a very masculine voice, but hey, I'm just doing the best I can, just like everybody else. Oh boy, just like everybody else. Here we talk about eco-friendly ideas fighting against the shitstem of the bully dozer. Hi, how you doing? Okay, yes, I love this spring coming. I'm a summer person, so I'm just like thinking of all the places I want to go hiking and everything. The beautiful trees. This time of the year, pardon me, is an exciting time of the year for me, as it might be for you too, though it takes all kinds. Okay, so recently I've done videos about the war in heaven, Saint Michael, Lucifer, um, and free agency, morality policing, uh, and this, and sin, and whether sin exists. And I recently heard someone say that sin does exist because it's transgression of the law, which it's like, well, in a secular society, there would need to be a reason, especially if you're saying it comes from an imaginary man in the sky, and if you're saying that there would need to be some kind of reason or evidence or something like that if you expected people to do it. Um, so that's why I say that sin does exist. I mean, it doesn't exist unless it does for you. If you believe in a law and you tell yourself and others that that's what you believe, and you live your life that way, and to you that's lying, then it is a lie, isn't it? Because that's what it is to you. But to someone that never believed that, and they have a different opinion, everything's a perspective, a controlled illusion, the three sides of the truth, and all that. With a little temperance, we can work through these things, can't we? And that's a secular society, a melting pot. But what this video really is about one of the things that you see when you're not a Christian is you hear Christians try to tell you the basic concept of Christianity. And they think that you don't already know that, when in reality, 9 times out of 10, probably here in America, you're probably talking to someone that grew up in a Christian home. They know the Christian message, and it's like, oh, the sun's shining in from outside, saying, "Come outside! I can't wait." Anyway, the basic Christian message, that there's sin, that there was Michael and Lucifer, that was a real story, that there really were. They were angels floating on a cloud with wings, and they got mad at each other, and Lucifer took a group of people and thought that he was the smart one, and everything, and left everybody else going, what happened, probably, But I'm on Michael's side of the argument, so I believe in free agency. So if sin is transgression of the law, it's because that law, which is the book, is something that you believe, and you declare to yourself and in your heart that that's what you believe. The word of the deity that you chose to worship believes, and that's what it is. In a secular society, you have to be able to think through that. I chose this deity. That means, now that means this and that and this and that and this, and then I chose to pray this way, and it means this and that, and then you made those choices, and so then it is a transgression it makes you a hypocrite, basically, saying you've transgressed the law of not being a hypocrite. Now you are a hypocrite, So that's a choice you make. In witchcraft, we're told to, it's completely obvious that we can pick any deity, and and many witches move from deity to deity, and all through their life, or stay with the same one or whatever you might choose. And each one comes with like a baggage, or it has things that come with it, and preferences and these and those and all that. So, wow. I probably should have chose. Never mind. I probably should. I was gonna say I chose a different time. I can see. I just looked at myself. There's so much sun shining in here. I look like, and I feel that way too. I'm like, gosh dang. But I've already referenced that too many times. I won't waste your time. It is lovely though, isn't it? So yeah. So a witch chooses a deity. It comes with this and that. So what Christians often fail to do, especially certainly the Christian nationalist thinkers, is that there's only one way, and it's exactly the way you were taught to do it, and your parents and everything and all that, out of all the people and all the hundreds of deities, and everybody's taught that. It's like super easy to figure out, I think. How nobody gets to walk around and say, my religion's the only true religion and everyone else must die. My religion, you can't walk around chanting that, and then all of a sudden a group of people's behind you. Our religion's the only religion that's true, and the rest must die. Oi, our religion is the only religion that's true, and it must die. Oi, no, that's not. You like how I did that with my fist like this? Because I would never do anything that even looks like a Nazi. I hate Nazis. Fuck Nazis, of course. So the Christian message is that the sin exists and it's relevant to everyone, and until everybody reckons with that and recognizes that, and then applies what Jesus has given us by dying on the cross, dying for our sins. So what I feel like it's obvious that if you choose Jesus as your deity, as the God of heaven, then whether it's the only one or not, or whatever you do, then Jesus, in the story, Jesus asks you to remember his body and his blood. Remember that he died for you for a reason. And then there's a variety of different. You listen to the Bible, the academic Bible scholars. This person didn't really write this book, and this person really did write this book, and this really didn't happen, and all the complexities and translations and all the stuff like that. It's, I'm just more interested in the mythology and everything. So there's got to be a reason, if you care about the story and you chose that deity, that he died for you, But and so, like for me, I do use Jesus but I call him Yahushua, the Hebrew version of that name. Yahushua did die. If you choose Yahushua as your deity of healing, I believe it's a deity of healing, then you take the approach that there's a need to heal, because that deity heals things. So you must need to heal things, or why would you need a deity that heals things? And so for me, it's more. That's why I have a healing amulet that corresponds to Yahushua, that heals you, or is it a talisman? I never remember. It just is what it is to me, and it represents that connection within, and Yahushua and all that, and healing, and many other things that correspond to that deity as the God of heaven. But I do it as a witch, not as a Christian. But I am aware of the Christian message. But the Christians want to say, but then only if you accept Jesus into your heart, and it is then. And it's like, no, I'm sorry. I believe that the king priest team that created the Bible and all these things in the first place, where mythology comes from and why we need mythology and why we've used mythology is one subject, and then the creation of the Bible and the attachments to it is another subject. So I'm talking about the Bible and the attachments to it part. That creates this need for the sin, and nobody is perfect, and there is sin. And so therefore, if your God's a God of healing, that God offers you healing from those sins. And it's because the concept of looking within, and the basic concepts of the deity Yahweh, the YHWH, the Tetragrammaton, as discussed in the Sefer Yetzirah book of the Kabbalah with a Q, witchcraft. It is a deity. He is a deity of healing, and can save you from your problems. And just the concept of loving yourself first. And when you know how to love yourself, then you'll know how to love other people. And you'll know how to accept other people. When you accept yourself, you'll learn how to accept other people. You know. And you'll learn that the real problem is people aren't looking within and they're not looking within and developing a relationship like that, where they know how to love themselves, therefore they can love others, in that order. So Christians out there, I was baptized. I'm baptized. I was baptized when I was 8 years old. My mom and dad were Mormon, and that's when kids get baptized when they're Mormon. I wasn't really a serious Mormon though. I was for 4 years, however, and I've done videos about that and why I lived in Spain and all that. Oh, I should just admit, it was because I was a Mormon missionary. I was a Mormon for 4 years, two of which, the two in the middle, were, oh, that looks like a gang sign. It wasn't. Were my mission, and that's where I learned Spanish, because I lived in Spain. But yeah, I was a Christian. I was a Mormon missionary. Mormons are Christian, so not only do I know the Christian concepts of the cross and all that, and blah blah, I preached it, not professionally, but as a missionary for 2 years. I did, like I just do. I absolutely do. And I've read the Bible all the way through, and I know what it says. I read the Bible all the way through, specifically trying to see firsthand everything it says about LGBT matters. And I've researched it, and I know that the Bible doesn't actually talk about LGBT people because those concepts didn't really exist. It's not. It's something else. Dan McClellan on YouTube talks about it. Put in Dan McClellan homosexuality and watch one of his videos about it. He's a Bible scholar. He lays it out the best. But yeah, it's a language thing. So anyway, I recently had someone unsubscribe and I've had many comments. In fact, the comments that weren't mean and hateful and horrible, which was hard at first. The ones that were nice were Christians trying to convert me to Christianity and trying to convert me to Jesus. This video is really, I'm talking to you, Look, you can have that in your heart and watch my videos. You don't need to unsubscribe like he did or anything, or she did, or whoever they are. That might not be necessary, but you're basically what I'm saying. You're welcome to listen. You don't, I'm not trying to convert anybody. I'm just really trying to save people time that might be like me. To know that there's other people out there that think the same thing, and maybe to say, hey, yeah, I can see that this person thinks the same way that I do and everything. As far as the transgender thing, notice, look through my, it's not really the subject of this channel, and it still comes out sometimes, and that I am transgender and stuff. And a lot of the comments that's hate are really about that. So people either want to convert me to Christian, or they want to say mean things to me because I'm transgender, And there's really not much of anything else, You people that have really kind things in your heart, leave messages. It's nice. You must be out there, because I know I'm not the only one. So just remember that you won't convert me, because I'm aware. And I don't believe that sin exists or that need, like you guys think. Okay, you have just listened to another video by The Spiral Times Presents. Thank you.